to my journey. This is Cherie. It's Sunday. Oh, we actually traveled a whole hour ahead. No, we just got more sunlight and we're chronologically putting it in place, right? Anyway, we sprung ahead an hour and, yesterday it was sort of dark, so I didn't do much of anything. But I did put on the visors for the van. I put them on, and I like it. I like it. Although I do wish, they came down a little bit further in the front. That way, you don't know if they're open or not. But even having it cracked sometimes it's just better than not having them open at all, because it gets really hot in a van when you have a lot of windows. Okay. It's a beautiful day out. It says it's 68 degrees Fahrenheit, right? So that's almost 70. That's nice. It's nice. Nice spring weather. Yeah, it already feels like summer. Yeah. Yesterday I had spent some time watching that movie Geostorm. If I had the ability to choose, a career or a study, I would have definitely chosen to be a geologist, right? And the movie that I watched was Geostorm. Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to take my dogs with me today. But, oh man, they just shed so much, and I haven't bathed them in a minute, so, no, I didn't think it'd be wise for me to bring them with me. They haven't been in the van yet, right? And, my higher self said, look, if you want to walk them, you can walk them in the neighborhood, right? And yeah, I can. So because those dog hairs can fly around and they'll turn up years later. That's a hair that was missed. Yeah. So I've been drinking my protein coffee mixed with tea, right? It's mixed with chai tea, chamomile tea, echinacea blueberry tea. And yeah, so that's what I've been drinking. Oh yeah, and then mixed with peanut butter powder, right? I'm loving this frother. This little frother that I got at IKEA for $3. Oh my god, it blends everything up so nice and frothy. I love it. It can do it for milk. It can do it for cream. And it also blends in the peanut butter powder so well that, I'm like, thank you. Right? But, I am drinking several cups. right? And because of how I was feeling, right, I made sure to take my B12 supplements, right? Because yeah, there was these weird feelings. They weren't my feelings. I got one cup and I protect my cup. All right, I got one cup and I protect it. I do not allow my cup to be polluted. Not at all. All right. So that's why I know, these feelings, they don't belong to me. It's just feelings that are out there. And, and I guess people will project these feelings out, hoping that somebody will catch them, and they don't return back to them. And it's like, no, buddy, it belongs to you. It's yours, not mine. So, yeah. Man, I went to make some ramen noodle soup last night because it was fairly cold last night. It was fairly cold. During the day, yesterday, the temperatures was like a high of 75, right? And then the clouds the clouds were always there, but then all of a sudden this cold front rolled in, and then we got into like the 50s, and I'm like, wow, a 50 degree drop like that, And so, it felt kind of cold to my toes for sure. Right? And yeah. So with the war and everything, it looks like the cheap gas is $3.19. And this is what I was thinking, right? Our president have been saying, look, we don't have to import oil. We have our own oil. We have an abundance. We have so much oil here that we can give to other countries, right? And yet, when we start getting into trouble with these oil countries, right? Now our oil goes up. Like, what's the truth here? What's the truth? And of course, I reckon they're gonna say something like, yeah, that was the consideration. That they were considering the fact that they was gonna be able to drill a pipeline from Alaska and bring it down here to America. All right. So then you have to ask yourself, so, you were lying, right? You were lying about the present condition. You were throwing in a hypothesis that, the drilling, and the pipeline from Alaska to America would give us sufficient oil not to need foreign oil. But you had said we didn't need foreign oil. Right? And I guess you wanted to show Iran that you didn't care if they became the eternal flame of the planet when you went over there and you bombed them, right? Yeah, we treat you just like a volcano. You could be forever on fire. I've only been doing my lightweight exercises. I have not been walking, not even on a treadmill. That's how lazy I've been. I've been lazy. Okay? Not working, not working out, just taking it easy, right? In about 10 days, we're going to hit the spring equinox, which would be great. I want to go walking, but I also want to, go find me another wig or two. That's what I really want to do. What I really want to do is go find me a wig or two. Because not only am I getting tired of these wigs, but I don't even want to upkeep them anymore. It's like, if I want to upkeep, long ass hair, why wouldn't I upkeep my own long ass hair? So these people look like they're driving crazy today. They're jumping in front of me, trying to make a left turn. It's Sunday. It's Sunday. And I understand that people have a lot of aggression, right? They don't even know that they've been suffering from the EMPs, because they always had the EMPs going on, right? They love the drama. They love the chaos. They love it because they want to capitalize, off of other people's demise. Like, with demise, they can't help but to win. So, if you know about EMPs and electrical impulses and stuff that they send, over the microwaves, then you already understand the irritation that you might be feeling. We've talked about this stuff. If this stuff is real, once you acknowledge it and you accept it, then you can deal with it. It's when you don't acknowledge it and you don't understand why you're irritable, you don't understand why you're depressed, you don't understand, these feelings that you're having and you can't figure out why, then listen, Linda, okay? Listen. You're feeling this way because of the EMPs. Okay? So even when they're not messing with the weather, then they go and they switch up and they start messing with, sending out electrical impulses to make you react. Okay? It's very, very, very sadistic. All right? And it's exactly what it is. It's sadistic. These people have a deal with Satan, right? And the deal with Satan, at some point, is going to backfire on them, because you don't make a deal with Satan and think that Satan is going to let you go. No. You become a prized possession of Satan. And everything you have done had let him know all the things that would make people feel pain. And all of it's been documented, like put in the data bank. Okay? So when he has you in his possession because you've given yourself to him, right? You make a deal with him, you giving yourself to him. You putting yourself under his power. You best believe he's not going to treat you like royalty. But he will give you a royal pain in the ass. For sure. For sure. That's his job. I know you all think that these people are like, these spirits are in opposition to God. But no, they're not in opposition to God. They actually work for God. Right? They're out here testing people like, oh yeah, this person is not a godly person. Let's see who they belong to. Are they a Satanist? A Luciferian? Or a devil? Right? Or anything in between. Right? That's a minion. A wannabe. Okay? And if you think I'm lying, then that's your problem. That's your problem. You can try to figure it out for yourself. All right? You can try to figure it out for yourself. That squirrel didn't make it across the street. So yeah, I wanted to start this garden. The seeds that I have, they're old seeds. And I'm wondering if the seeds are too old. I'll know in about 5 to 10 days if they don't sprout. Damn, you're way out there.